What are types of IPs available in AWS? So whenever we launch a machine in AWS, we will get one public IP and other is private IP. So in AWS, we have two types of IP. One is public IP and other is private IP. So now I will try to create one EC2 instance in AWS. So here I will click on this launch instance. So here I will provide the EC2 name. I will select the AMIS Linux. Instance type is T2 Micro. So keep here I am selecting it as Windows 3. So now I will click on this launch instance. So now I will go to the EC2 instance. See, I have launched one EC2 instance and now we are getting one public IP and other is private IP. So here private IP is fixed. That means even though if you stop this EC2 instance, this private IP will not be changed. Okay. So but when coming to public IP, so with the help of this public IP, we will connect to this AWS machine from outside. Okay. So if you stop and start this EC2 instance, then this public IP will be changed. Okay. So in order to make this public IP fixed, then we have to make use of elastic IP. So here I will create one elastic IP. So before creating this elastic IP, I will stop this EC2 instance. Okay. So it is in running state. Now I will stop the EC2 instance. So before stopping, this is the public IP. Okay. So this is the public IP and this is the private IP. Okay. See, I stopped the EC2 instance. Now public IP is changed. Okay. So now I will try to start the same instance again. See, again public IP is changed. Okay. See, here this public IP is different. Okay, and this is a public IP which is different after restarting. Okay, so but in case of private IP, it is same. Okay, so both are same. So that means here we can say that private IP is a fixed IP, whereas public IP is a dynamic IP. Okay, so in order to make this public IP as a fixed IP, we have to make use of elastic IP. So now I will create one elastic IP. So now here I will click on this allocate elastic IP address. So here I will create one elastic IP. Okay. So now I will map this elastic IP to the EC2 instance. So for that we have to click on this associate this elastic IP address. Okay. So here we have to select the resource type as instance and then here we have to choose the instance. Okay. So this is the Linux VM and here we have to select the private IP address. Okay. So this is a private IP address which is same as this one. Okay. And now I will click on the associate. And now I will go to the instance. Okay. See here public IP is getting changed. Okay. So after allocating the elastic IP, public IP is getting changed now. Okay. So here we have another public IP. So now I will try to stop this EC2 instance. See here we have stopped the machine. Okay. So even though we stop the machine, this public IP is not getting changed. Okay. So that is because we have mapped the elastic IP to this EC2 instance. Okay. So this is the public IP which is same as before. Okay. So now I will try to start this machine. Okay. So public IP will not be changed. See, it is in running state. Okay. And here public IP it is not getting changed. Okay. So it is fixed now. So now I will try to connect to this machine. So for that I will go to the mobile XTerm. So here I will click on session SSH remote host equal to IP address. So here I will specify the username. So in order to get the username, we have to click on this connect button. So here we are getting the username as EC2 user. So I will specify the same. And now here I will click on advanced SSH settings. I will upload the private key. So here in this case I will upload the Windows 3. Okay. Now I will click on OK, accept. See here, now we can able to connect to this EC2 instance. Okay. So in AWS we have three types of IPs. One is public IP, another is private IP, and last one is elastic IP. So if you stop the service, this private IP will not be changed, whereas this public IP will be changed. So if you want to make this public IP as static, then we have to make use of elastic IP. Okay. So once our work is done, we have to release this elastic IP. So since these elastic IPs are chargeable, we have to release this immediately. Okay. So for that, we have to go to this instance. So first we have to click on this instance and we have to go to actions, network. Here we have to disassociate elastic IP address. Okay. So we have to click on this button. Proceed. Disassociate. So once this is done, we have to go to the elastic IP and we have to release this IP. Okay. So we have to go to actions, release elastic IP. Done. Okay. So this is all about types of IPs in AWS. And next, what are EC2 instances category? So first I will go to the instance types. So here this is the instance types. So in AWS we have total 458 instance types. So in AWS we have different types. We have T2 nano, T2 micro, T2 small, T2 medium, T3, A1, C4. So all these are different types of instances available in AWS. Okay. So for each and every instance we have different configurations. For T2 nano we have 0.5 GB available. For T2 micro we have 1 GB available. For T2 large we have 8 GB. For T2 X large we have 16 GB available. Okay, so these are different types of configurations available in AWS. So in AWS we have four categories. One is on-demand instance. So whenever we create an EC2 instance, then it is nothing but an on-demand instance. So whatever the instance which you have created just now, so this is nothing but an on-demand instance. Okay, for every 1 hour charges are applicable, and it will be applicable only if instance is in running state. So if instance is in stop state, then charges are not applicable. So if it is in running state, then only charges are applicable. Okay. And next we have reserved instances. So it is just like an advance booking for EC2 instances. So we can book a machine for 1 year or 3 years contract. So even though we use this machine or not, then bill will be generated. Okay. So if you go to the reserved instances, so here we can purchase the reserved instances. Okay. So either we can pay the full payment or partial payment. Okay. So next we have spot instances. So it is just like a bidding or auction. So AWS will provide high capacity system for low prices. So here in this, organization will participate in bidding and they will purchase the high capacity system for the low prices. And last we have dedicated host instances. So in this, AWS will provide the physical machine instead of virtual machines to the customers. So these are very costly. Okay, so these are different types of instances category which are available in AWS. And next, what are EC2 instance types? So EC2 instances are categorized into 5 types. So one is general purpose instances. So if you want to take a normal virtual machine for general operations, then we can go for this instance. So here examples are T2, T3, T3A, T4G. So all this comes under this general purpose instances. Okay. So here we are using the T2 macro, right? So that comes under the general purpose instance. Okay. So if you go to instance types, so here we have T2 nano, T2 micro, T2 small. All this comes under the general purpose instances. Okay. So T2 belongs to one family, T3 belongs to one family, A1 belongs to one family. Okay. So next we have compute optimized instances. So C6G, C5, C5A, C5N, all this comes under this compute optimized instances. So next we have memory optimized instances. So if you are more concerned about memory, then we can go for this instance. So here examples are R6G, R5, R5A, R5N, R4. So all this comes under this memory optimized instances. And next we have storage optimized instances. So if you are more concerned about the storage, then we can go for this instance. Examples are I3, I3EN, D2H1. Okay. And last we have accelerated computing instances. So if you want more performance, then we can go for this instance. So examples are P3, P2, INF1, G4, G3, F1. So this comes under this accelerated computing instances. Okay. So these are different types of instances which are available for EC2 instances. Okay. And next, what is AMI in AWS? So AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image, and it contains the set of configurations which are required to launch an EC2 instance. So generally we use Kickstart AMIs to launch Windows machine, Mac machine or Linux machine. Okay. So suppose I will go to EC2 instance. So now I will try to launch one instance. Okay. So whenever we are trying to launch one instance, so here we are selecting one Kickstart AMI. Okay. So all this comes under this Kickstart AMI. Okay. I will click on this browse more AMIs. So here we have four types of AMIs. So one is a Kickstart AMI which we use commonly, and next we have my AMIs. Okay, so we can create our custom AMIs. So whatever the AMIs that we have created, so that will come under this tab. Okay, so by default all AMIs are private. So if you make this AMI as public, then this AMI will be available in community AMI also. Okay, so if it is public, then anyone can use our AMIs and they can launch their machines by using our AMIs. Okay, and last one we have AWS Marketplace AMIs. So these are the third party AMIs which are available, so we can make use of this AMIs also. Okay, so overall we have four types of AMIs. One is quick start, next one is my AMIs, third one is AWS Marketplace AMIs, and last one is community AMIs. Okay, so now I will show one advantage. Okay, so suppose I launched one EC2 instance. Okay, so here I have launched one Linux machine, and in that machine I installed Git, I installed Jenkins, and I installed Visual Studio Code. Okay, I installed all these softwares. So now I want to install all these softwares in 50 machines. Okay, so now what we will do is, so we will create 50 EC2 instances, and then in 50 EC2 instances we will manually install all these softwares. Okay, so instead of manually installing all these softwares in 50 machines, what we can do is, so on top of this EC2 we can create one AMI. Okay, so once we create an AMI, so whatever software which are available inside this EC2, all will be available inside this AMI. Okay, so now using this AMI, we can create these 50 machines. So if we create 50 machines based on this AMI, then all the softwares will be automatically available in 50 machines. Okay, so instead of manually installing all these softwares, we can do it by using these AMIs. Okay, so now I will try to create one AMI based on this EC2 instance. Okay, so for that I will go to the EC2 instance. So it should be in running state, and now I will click on actions, image and templates, create image. Okay, I will create one image. I will provide a name, Venkat AMI, and now I will click on this create image. Okay, so now I will go to the AMIs. See, here we got one AMI. Okay, so one AMI is created. So by default this visibility is private. Okay, so since this is private, so it will be available in my AMIs. Okay, so if you make this AMI as public, then it will be available to all users. So if you want to make this AMI as public, we have to go to actions, edit AMI permissions. So here we have to click on public, and then we have to click on save changes. Okay, so if you do it, then this AMI will become an public. Okay, so now this status is in pending state. Yeah, see here now status is available. Okay, so now I will create one EC2 instance based on this image. Okay, so for that we have to click on this launch instance from AMI. Okay, so here I will provide one name. So here I am using my AMI. Okay, so instead of using Kickstart AMI, so I am using my AMI. Okay, so if you go to my AMS, so my AMI will be available. Okay, so now I will click on this launch instance. Okay, so I will select the keypad as Windows 3, and now I will click on this launch instance. Now I will go to the EC2 instance. So once it is in running state, I will connect to this machine. Okay, see here now it is in running state. Okay, so now I will connect to this machine using this public IP. So I will go to mobile extern. So here I will click on session SSH. I will specify the IP. Here user will be EC2 user. And now I will click on advanced SSH settings. I will upload the private key. So Windows 3 is a private key. I will click on OK, accept. Okay. See, now we can able to connect to the EC2 instance which is created from my AMI. Okay. So this is all about AMI in AWS.